Barbara, I know you were listening to this speech. What is your reaction? What did you think about what Netanyahu have to say? He certainly brought up his favorite topic, Iran, multiple times and got a number of standing ovations as well.
Yeah, hi, Asieh. Thank you for inviting me. You know, I tweeted that if there were an Academy Award for Hasbara, that Bibi Netanyahu would get it. Hasbara is, I guess, loosely translated as public diplomacy. It was a very forceful defense of his government's position on this terrible war. And you're right. I mean, he brought in Iran. He wasn't even a minute into his speech before he blasted Iran's axis of terror. He blamed all of the violence against Israel, all the various groups that have attacked Israel on Iran, suggested if not for Iran, none of these groups would have attacked Israel. He tried to present Israel as kind of the bulwark of defense of the free world against Iran. He said, our enemies are your enemies, our fight is your fight, etc. Nowhere, of course, was there a mention of the 40,000 dead Palestinians. When he did talk about the death toll, he claimed that the Israeli military was the most humane the world had ever seen. Quite an astonishing claim, given the large number of civilian casualties. You know, he's classic Bibi. This is his fourth time. He's an extremely powerful orator. But we have to remember that although he got standing ovations inside the halls of Congress, as your correspondent pointed out, many Democrats boycotted the speech. He had Ben Cardin, who was a retiring Democrat, head of the Foreign Relations Committee, or former head of the Foreign Relations Committee. No, perhaps he still is now. That's right, because Menendez had to step down. You know, sitting behind him. The invitation came from the Republicans. It was reluctantly accepted by Chuck Schumer. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but when Bibi was coming into the hall, he brushed right by Schumer, who looked as though he was going to say something to Netanyahu, and Netanyahu cut him dead because not long ago, Schumer gave a speech where he called for new elections in Israel. So I think the other thing to remember is that, you know, 70% of Israelis want Netanyahu to step down. So he comes to the United States to get standing ovations from Republicans. I don't know how much it means.
So what kind of message does Netanyahu's visit to Washington, the speech before Congress, what kind of message, Barbara, does it send to Palestinians?
I mean, it's the message that they don't count, their lives are worthless. You heard it, you heard his vision for when the war ends, if the war ever ends. It's a continuing Israeli military occupation. He has nothing to offer on that front. And, you know, the U.S. has been pushing. President Biden, I'm sure we'll hear about it tonight, his fervent wish in his last months as president is to end this war, and Netanyahu gave no indication that he would do that.
So a Harris versus a Trump presidency, what will it mean for Netanyahu and his policies? Changes or more of the same?
I think it's a little hard to say at this point. Kamala Harris has not been nominated yet. She hasn't come out and announced a change in policy. She has said some things that have suggested a little more empathy for the suffering of Palestinians. The policy of supporting Israel with weapons and so on will continue. It was interesting that Netanyahu, toward the latter part of his speech, asked for fast-tracking weapons. So it's not enough that the U.S. is sending all of this military aid. He wants it faster. And he had the chutzpah, if I may use that word again, the nerve to quote Winston Churchill, as he often likes to do, suggesting that if Israel gets the weapons, they will finish the job. Now, what does that mean, finish the job? I think most sensible military and defense experts understand that you can kill tens of thousands of people, but you're not going to destroy Palestinian aspirations for their own state. And Hamas may not be what it was before, but there will still be a Hamas or an organization like it that will emerge from the rubble of Gaza. So, again, it was vintage Bibi, full of black-white Manichaean comparisons. Israel is good, Iran is evil. But those who understand the dynamics of the Middle East will understand that he wasn't coming with any solutions to the root causes of this terrible violence.
Yeah, he said also U.S. and America must stand together. Barbara Slavin, thank you so much.
Thank you.